illegal immigrant charged with Laken Riley's murder is now asking for certain evidence to be suppressed ahead of that trial. And in a very sad, disturbing story out of Long Island, an illegal immigrant who crossed the border in 2014 during Obama and Biden's presidency and vice presidency is now accused of raping a 5-year-old. Here with reaction, Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz, Trump 2024 National Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. You know, Caroline, we've done something on this show that nobody else has done. And all of the Harris-Biden unvetted illegal immigrants, we put up. We know about Rachel Morin, mother of 5. We know about Laken Riley in Georgia. We know about Jocelyn Nungary in Houston. But there's all these other dozens of Americans that have been killed. And then we have dozens of Americans that have been raped, including young children, allegedly, of course, by Harris-Biden illegals, and hundreds of Americans that have been victims of violent crime by Harris-Biden unvetted illegal immigrants. We have cartels, we have gang members, and on top of all that, we have known terrorists in the country. Why is it nobody else in the media cares to talk about that?
Well, it's a very good question, Sean, and it's because the mainstream media is a propaganda machine for Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party. We see it every single day on the Trump campaign. They cover for Kamala Harris, and they spend their time pushing hoaxes like the one we saw today about Liz Cheney about Donald Trump. But the good news is the American people don't trust the mainstream media anymore, and that's why, despite their lies, President Trump is more popular today in 2024 than he's ever been since 2016. And a large part of this is because Americans are sick and tired of waking up to headlines every single day about our fellow citizens being raped and killed at the hands of illegal monsters who should have never been here in the first place. This news story out this week about the illegal immigrant who raped a 5-year-old in New York is enough in itself to vote against Kamala Harris. Every parent in America should be outraged at this story, and it's only one of many. There are so many victims of this migrant crime epidemic across the country. President Trump has gotten to know many of these families. He takes the time to grieve with them. I've watched him do it backstage at his rallies. I've watched him take time out of his very busy day to call these mothers and these fathers whose lives will never be the same. Does Kamala Harris talk to them? No, she doesn't. She pretends they don't exist because they do not fit her political narrative. Kamala Harris broke our border. She's broke our economy. She's broke our standing in this world, and only President Trump can fix it. And to every woman out there who may be undecided, cast your ballot for President Trump for the future of our children, to protect our babies in this country. Kamala Harris is such a disgrace. It's despicable that people are even considering voting for her, Sean.
Let's get your take. And I'm scrolling again. The victims that have been murdered and raped and victims of heinous crime. Nobody in the media. The list goes on and on and on, Jason Chaffetz, and we add to it and can add to it every day.
You know, this is a choice election, and Kamala Harris decided and chose to have open borders. Every single one of these people had the potential of being alive. And you're right, all the rapes, all the abuse, all the intimidation that's going on. This does not have to happen. And the national media doesn't cover it because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris never care. They don't go talk to the victims. They're all about making sure that people that are here illegally get more rights and are treated better than American citizens. What about all of our homeless veterans? Do you ever see them caring for them and taking care of them? No, you don't. You see them bending over backwards to make sure they have phones and income, and they get all the housing and every single priority, and that all the victims are just left off to the side. And that is absolute disgusting. And it makes me so mad because I've met with some of these people along the way, and it just brings tears to your eyes, and it doesn't have to be this way.
And you know what the thing is, Caroline, is that every town, every city is now a border town. It's not just California. It's not just Texas and Arizona and New Mexico. It's every town and city because they have dispersed these illegal immigrants all over the country.
That's right. Every community is a border community, like Maryland, where Rachel Morin went out for a run in a neighborhood she thought was safe and never came home because she was murdered by an illegal immigrant. Or like Georgia, same thing with Laken Riley. She went out for a run, never came home because an illegal monster who Kamala Harris led into the country took her life. And this is every woman's worst nightmare. And it is a reality in this country. And shame on the media for not covering these cases more. But President Trump is going to put an end to this American nightmare on day one. He's going to launch the largest mass deportation operation in American history. He's going to shut down our southern border. He's going to seize the assets of the Mexican drug cartels and human traffickers who have waged this war on our southern border and into every state in this country. And he's going to use their assets to set up a government migrant crime victim compensation fund to get these families the help that they need. No, they will no longer be ignored by a Trump administration. They will be taken care of.
Jason, you get the last word tonight.
You have to go after these people and you have to deport them. They came here illegally. They flaunted our laws. They committed crimes. You can't just release them back out. One of the murders that's happened here, one of the allegations out there of this rape of this 5-year-old is he didn't show up to his hearings. ICE needs to go get that person and they need to be deported immediately. And then it's got to be impossible to get back in the country. Only Donald Trump will deliver that, and he will do it.
And I think we need to, if we're going to reward people that want to come into our country, we should reward those that obey our laws, respect our borders and our sovereignty. And for the other people, we can very compassionately give them an air flight home, put money in their pocket and say, next time, follow our laws. I think that's fair. That's called justice. They don't care about justice when it's Donald Trump and it's anything but. Thank you both. When we come back, the race remains razor thin in key swing states. Millions of Americans have already cast their vote. About 90 million more will vote on Tuesday. We'll explain straight ahead.